really with the Warriors, when he was out with he was out with concussion earlier this year, they kind of went on that 3-game loss skid, I don't think it's a surprise while he was gone.
I think that is so one of the reasons why I think we see so many upsets in the league is that very few have like a squad of another 15 that can step in.
From like 17 years old till about 24 or 23 years old. So sort of all my, college memories are in Pretoria. So, I mean, I grew up supporting the Sharks actually. So, getting a few games for them just before coming over was actually like a dream come true. So that was an unbelievable experience. But like you said, I owe a lot to my under 19, under 21 coaches at the Bulls who I've really learned a lot under, and as well as John Mitchell. I was there in John Mitchell's first season, and actually made my Currie Cup debut while under him. So I've learned a lot, and there's still a few things that he's taught me that I apply today. I'm actually getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
That's what I want.
It was probably the best rugby years of my life. Just playing for UP Tuks. It's actually a really major thing in South Africa, the Varsity Cup. Stellenbosch pulls about 10,000 people to their games every game. We actually played against Stellenbosch in the final, and we got like 10,000 people to that final. It was unbelievable. I had amazing teammates. Michael van Staden, who's now a Springbok. He actually just signed for Leicester. He was in that team. There's a few guys that are playing Super Rugby now. Guys like Andre Warner, the scrum off. Chris Massane, who played Pro 16 as well. But saying that, we were like a majorly talented squad, a majorly talented team. Actually, Franco van der Berg, who was in that team too. Who's at the Utah Warriors with me right now.
Yeah, Franco,
there were no egos. Training came, we all pushed each other, we all had a certain standard. We kept ourselves to that standard, and we kept each other to that standard. And, there was no one thinking they were better than they actually are. When they scored their last try, I looked at the scoreboard immediately, and even did a little counting on my hand, like, can we still win this game? And then I saw, 6 points. And then I knew, wait, he's got to miss this conversion. Mikey Teo called us all in. We're gonna chase this, kick it down now, and try and put as much pressure as we can. As soon as he missed it, I knew, okay, we're gonna get the ball back. The scrum off's gonna box kick it back, and we're just gonna go through the phases. I remember saying to Davey Wilson that I looked at the scoreboard, looked at the time, it was 73. By the time we got into the last scrum, it was about 81 minutes. I was like, okay, we need to switch. we just attacked for 8 minutes. It was actually, so we went 16 phases, got the penalty, kicked out, had a line out, went 13 phases, got the scrum, went 5 phases, scored. It was unbelievable. It's something special. It's something we try and pride ourselves on at Utah Warriors too.
Was really an attack coach for a long time, but really learned to love defense. And so, that's why you hear me get excited, Dan, when I talk about, the Seawolves back, right? So the way defenses work is that they work in cycles, and it's the reason why you get momentum on attack. So it's all about stopping the first phase attack. And so what New York did a really good job of against LA is that they stopped that first phase attack and they didn't let them go forward. When you stop that first phase attack, it means all your forwards that are in that scrum or that line out can just run forward to get in the defensive line, right? It's a shorter line to run forward to get into that defensive line. Because it's a shorter run into that defensive line, your defensive wall was built more quickly, right? Because your defensive wall was built more quickly, you're more ready to launch again, right? And so this idea of sort of the launch, and then in that contact, winning that contact, dominating that contact, that's why I talk a lot about dominating tackles, right? You dominate that contact, right? That allows you to be in a position where you can slow you don't have to slow the ball down, because you're actually just giving your forwards some efficiency, right? And so, however, when you have a dominant tackle, right, you end up normally on your chest, right? You've knocked them back, which means that you're in a great position to get up, counter ruck, and contest. When you have a dominant tackle, the tackle assist can come through the gate and attack the ball.
I'm looking at this and just thinking,
that weekend killed you. There's no way you're going to be able to catch up. 6.
I need Larry just to like have a weekend where he's busy during the week and he goes, I didn't put the tips in.
You need Larry to forget to put in his picks for a week. That's what you need.
Larry's family and friends, if you're watching, I know you are, you love the show, distract him for me from Wednesday to Sunday. Just kidnap him, something, anything, just put him in the basement. Give me a chance here. All right, let's go this week. NOLA at San Diego on Saturday, down there at Chula Vista. So that's as close to San Diego if they're being technically it's San Diego. It's so close. How are you seeing this one play out? I don't think, from what I've been told, sorry, I'll actually give you the advice here before my usual, horrible self. I don't think a lot of their key players are returning this week. They're still another week away.
I think, and I think that NOLA hasn't played their best. I think that they played much better against Toronto for most of that game. San Diego don't have the halfbacks. I think Furno came back. That helps. Not enough. I think NOLA wins this game. I think I don't know where San Diego get their points except for NOLA mistakes. Now NOLA does tend to make mistakes, so I think this is 34-20 to NOLA.
There you go. We just got Stats Boy just hit me up. He said Thomas Morani released from DC, picked up by San Diego, so they get some help from the centers. And I think Tian Lutz is back this week as well for them, so they do have some reinforcement in the centers there. But yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this one, Pete. I think NOLA, even though on the road, that's a fast track out there at Chula Vista. I mean, you've spent a lot of time there. I've done some camps out there. It's a beautiful field. It's fast though, very, very fast. So
it's cut like a soccer pitch.
It is. I think it is actually. Isn't it a soccer pitch most of the time, and they just use it for rugby? Or NOLA down there. I'll go by 9. I think be comfortable in the end. All right, Toronto at Houston Saturday night. Big game for both of them.
It is. It is a big game for both of them. I'm just not like, and both of these teams, you're sort of like wondering how real they are, right? Like Houston's played well, but lost a few games. Toronto has done enough to win a few, but not last week. I'm still a little bit on the Arrows bandwagon, Dan. I think, the way I feel about Toronto is I think that they're a great team. I think their ceiling isn't as high as some of the other teams. But because they've got so much continuity both on and off the field, I think they're able to get to that ceiling more often. I think they're going to come back from that Atlanta game. Remember, they've spent 2 weeks at home, right? At home in Atlanta. I mean, it's got to be tough, right? It's not home. It doesn't feel like home. But hopefully, they've had some opportunity without that travel. I guess I'm picking the away team again. I think it's going to be Toronto. I think it's a close game. I think it's probably like Houston likes to score points. I think, it's like 34-32. I think this is a bit of a flip of a coin, honestly.
This one's going to be like a roster take, I think. You have to have a look and see how Houston are pretty beat up. They lost Albanoz, their lock. They're already pretty thin at lock. They lost Fortuny last week or the week before, and now Erasmus came off that game hurt. So they're thin at hooker, which is big, right? That's a big part of your set piece, your scrum and your line out. So I had to see how beat up they are, if they've got anyone coming back. Toronto just seemed a little healthy. Tukale's, their fullback's been out, but I think he's getting pretty close to coming back too. So I'm probably leaning towards you as well. Toronto just a little healthier, even though they're on the road. It's not a bad flight, Atlanta to Houston as well. All right, New York at Austin. This is a tough one too.
Oh, am I picking first? I keep picking first. Shouldn't you pick first on this one?
Yeah, Austin.
Of course. I actually think this is going to be Austin as well. I think it's going to be tough for New York to go back to back. I think they're going to It's just hard. I think Austin are a good team. They're a great defensive team. This is a low scoring affair. Probably both teams in the teens. I think it's something like Austin like 17, New York 15.
Yeah. If New York win this game, Marty Veal should document everything he does this week and remember it, because getting a team up again after an emotional win is one of the hardest things in sport.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go out and
like as a coach, what you do is after that win, you go into the film room and you put everything they didn't do well. You bring them right back down to earth. Yeah. Don't show them any positive video, right? You just show them, here are all the things that we have to get better at. Like, don't think your shit doesn't smell. Yeah. Right. And so, you know, I'm sure Marty's doing that. I'm sure that he's like, and there are some like, there are smart guys, experienced guys there that will be able to pull it. But still, Austin's a really, really good team. I think their set piece is really good. They had a bit of a rotation last week. I think we'll see their better pack start. And I think Austin has the edge.
Still strong defensively too. Didn't give up a lot of points to New England. Defended well, and they do extremely well down there at home.